All right, welcome back to another episode of Bitfinex Talks. I'm your host, Ricardo Martinez, and I'm here with a very, very special episode coming live from the Bitfinex Business Day here in Medellin, Colombia, as part of Colombia Tech Week and Crypto Latin Fest. I'm here with Pedro Vital from Bitcoin Dominicana. Pedro, how are you?
I'm doing great here, chilling in Medellin.
Man, I am super curious about the Bitcoin scene in the República Dominicana. Can you kind of paint a picture for those of us that are not familiar with what it's like?
Of course. But first, I would like to talk to you about what Dominicans are as a person. We've always been kind of decentralized by nature.
Okay.
So we've always had to do our own kind of things at home, security, how to take away the garbage, even our own remedies to make people feel better. It's something cultural, but that's why I think that we are decentralized by nature. So this has a lot to do with the demographics and how the Bitcoin adoption scene is happening over there.
And from what I understand, like the Bitcoin adoption scene is very, very strong.
At the moment, it is at a grassroots level.
Okay.
So we're seeing how more people are getting into Bitcoin, more than first as a way of saving their hard-earned cash, because your savings are a right that assist you. The traditional system has let down a lot of these people.
Yeah.
And for the first time now, through us and Bitcoin Dominicana, they have the opportunity to learn more about Bitcoin and not get scammed, because we come from that chapter. Like we've been hit hard by scammers. So
I think all of Latin America has been hit hard by like pyramids and
yeah, so we've been focusing, on building these little bonds, because even though we start very small, these things kind of, the first is 2 people, 4 people, then so forth and so on. And building these bonds with the community has helped us not only educate them like one-on-one on how to use Bitcoin as a store of value, but also as a method of exchange, but also give them the opportunity through this new Bitcoin tourism we've been getting for them to get shotgun when these tourists come. It's like when you go to El Salvador that you see the wife taking a picture of the husband paying for the tax in Bitcoin, and it's the same thing over there. We're creating kind of like this personalized experience for foreigners to come, because we are an island. We don't fabricate Bitcoin. We need these assets to come from abroad, and everybody understands that over there.
yeah, that's super interesting. So let's talk about Bitcoin Dominicana. Like, what are you guys doing on the ground out there? Like, what's the project?
I think the key word is on the ground. So yeah, we do a lot of field work. We go identifying businesses that, due to the kind of products they offer or services, would be key players to what the circular economy is. Because if we just focus circular economy on drinks and on hotels and don't have a supermarket or a clinic, you're kind of missing something
like
that is
vital.
That's vital infrastructure to whoever's going to use Bitcoin as a method of exchange, or perhaps want to live a time in the DR to meet the people, check out the country. So we are slowly, finding these strategical little key players and starting to work with them little by little, because this is not something that's happened overnight. And this is just the beginning also.
Okay, so like if I'm a Bitcoiner that wants to visit the Dominican Republic and experience this Bitcoin tourism, like where would you recommend that I go?
Well, first thing I would recommend, contact us, because we'll cater to your needs, so you don't have to be, like they say over there, dando vuelta como un loco. O sea, so you got to know where you have to go.
Yeah.
So first thing is to contact us. But if you want to go for something exotic, I would recommend Samaná. Samaná already has a lot of little boutique hotels that you can pay with Bitcoin. Has great beaches that meet with rivers. It has mountains, and the scene over there is magical. You actually feel that old school Taino vibes going. You're in a jungle. But if you want to take it up a notch, come to Santo Domingo, meet up with us. We could go up to the mountains, to Constanza, but also we could go to El Cibao. If you're into rum, cigars, lifestyles, this kind of stuff, we know exactly the places to go for these kind of experiences. Also in Santo Domingo, you don't only have to go for the tourist vibes. We already have aesthetic clinics, If you want to get, pimp yourself out a little bit, get pretty, we have all kind of medical services too, and also the opportunity to check out what's happening business mode over there.
How did this Bitcoin adoption like spawn in the Dominican Republic, where these businesses like thought it was a good idea to accept Bitcoin as a form of payment?
Good question. Well, they've realized through the actions that we've been doing with brands, because there's now brands that are similar to what Airbnb is, that you could get Bitcoin for having your properties there. For example, the case of AirBTC. So this makes sense for people. In what sense it makes sense? They understand that if they don't get the currency coming from abroad, it's not gonna magically happen. So looking how the infrastructure is growing around all these things, it's easier for them to become, let's say, the protagonist of a situation. Similar to what alcohol advertising does. Once you open a bottle, there's 20 girls around you. It's the same thing. Once you tap into these niche brands, the Bitcoin starts flowing your way.
That's incredible. I guess, like, how would you compare it to more established like Bitcoin circular economies like we see in Guatemala with Bitcoin Lake, or El Salvador with Bitcoin Beach? Like, do you have that kind of grassroots like adoption and education going on?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Because in order for these things to happen, you need to kind of concentrate the community in a certain place.
Yeah.
For us, it's been different because we're more scattered. But it's just a matter of time before like more structured businesses say, yeah, we're gonna do it, and start working with the community around there, because it's very important for people to be able to get their monthly wages, for example, in Bitcoin, but also have a place to spend it. So we're still reaching that little balance to create that condensed little place that is similar to what you mentioned, Guatemala, El Salvador, Costa Rica.
Amazing. I guess my last question to close out the interview is, you coming from the Dominican Republic here to Colombia, to Medellin for Crypto Latin Fest and Bitfinex Business Day, what is your objective attending the conference?
Well, number one objective is to learn. I think that relating to other people who are either in the industry, working their brands or their digital products, you learn, but you also find new opportunities. So for me, this is a way to make Dominican Republic get connected with different, let's call them nodes, people in business that are actually doing something
to build bridges.
Yeah, we're building bridges and opening the doors to Dominican Republic. So brands need to know that Dominican Republic is happening. We're in constant growth. Our people are young over there, and they meet the requirements to actually use all these kind of things. So
they're digitally native kids that understand how crypto works.
And are speaking English and Spanish.
Yeah.
So that's a great opportunity. But if a lot of these brands don't get exposure to some of these markets, it's going to be very competitive where they're at. So in the true decentralized nature of Bitcoin, we are decentralized. And through Dominican Republic, creating a new little node, so these companies could also analyze maybe Dominican Republic is their next hub, and they just don't know it.
I think outside of Latin America, not a lot of people are familiar with the Dominican Republic as a crypto hotspot. So thank you for taking the time to come and do the interview. Real quick before we go, how can people follow what you're doing on social media and website and all that? You
can find me on Twitter, BTC Dominicana, Bitcoin Dominicana on Instagram, also Bitcoin Dominicana Noster. So if you want to hit me up, you could do it through there. My name is Pedro Vital, and for us, it's a pleasure and a privilege to be here with you guys today.
Well, thank you so much, brother.
Pleasure is mine.